Good evening and thanks for joining us on your holiday. I'm Sophie Erber. One man is dead and a woman is in the hospital tonight after a shooting on this Memorial Day. Police are still looking for the suspect, and we have the latest information now in our top story at 5. The call for shots fired came in around 1:30 this afternoon. Police arrived at the 1900 block of 250th Street in Luton. Officers found a woman with a wounded leg and a man that was declared dead outside of a residence. The suspect had already fled that scene. Officers did detain a vehicle that potentially matched the description of the suspect's vehicle. This is a developing story. We will have the latest updates available on our website. That address is on your screen, SiouxlandProud.com, or the KCAU 9 mobile news app. For many people, this Memorial Day marks a sort of return to normalcy as millions of people traveled out of town for the first time since the pandemic began. ABC's Xavier Harrelson reports.
Americans are hitting the roads and air this Memorial Day weekend as travelers feel more confident with coronavirus cases on a downward trend. The Indy 500 hosting 135,000 people in the stands, the largest crowd at a sporting event since the pandemic began. And as many states ease COVID restrictions, beaches and bars packed with maskless revelers.
It feels good. It's like you feel the unity of everybody finally being able to come outside without having to worry, as much about getting sick.
For the first time in over a year, the U.S. is now averaging less than 20,000 new COVID cases a day. National daily average case numbers plunging nearly 70% in the past 6 weeks, with more than 50% of American adults fully vaccinated. But daily vaccination rates are down 60% since its peak in April. And a new poll shows only 4% who want to get vaccinated as soon as possible haven't done so yet. But with promising case numbers, more Americans feeling comfortable flying again.
I haven't been home in 2 years, so whatever I got to do to get home, I'm going to do to get home.
From Thursday to Sunday, the TSA screened more than 7 million people, breaking all pandemic travel records. More than 1.5 million traveling Sunday. Monday afternoon expected to be the busiest time at airports. About 34 million people drove to their destinations this holiday weekend. So for most major cities, late Monday is expected to be the busiest time on the roads. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
And of course, Memorial Day services were held all around Siouxland today. South Sioux City's Freedom Park held their annual Memorial Day service this morning with a 21-gun salute. An in-person crowd as well. Those in attendance say the holiday is about much more than just a day off work.
Memorial Day is a wonderful holiday, but we need to be mindful of why it is and how it is. And it's because of veterans and what they gave. And the true heroes are the ones who never came home.
Yesterday, officials with Siouxland Freedom Park announced they have completed fundraising for the finishing of the visitor center. That project's scheduled to be complete by Veterans Day. And Sioux Center also honored their veterans. The activities began there at 7 this morning with a pancake breakfast, followed by a patriotic bike decorating contest and a parade. But today, of course, not just for fun, as we've learned, and it was about memory and celebration. They did hold a ceremony for their local fallen and their Gold Star families.
They put their life on the line. They didn't have to. They got drafted, some of them drafted. There's a couple of them here that volunteered. But they made the ultimate sacrifice.
Today's events were hosted by the American Legion and the Bethel Christian Reformed Church High School Youth Group. And it's time now for our first check on the weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson standing by. Scott, as you could see from all of our footage today, a pretty picture-perfect Memorial Day. We really couldn't ask for more, so thank you.
Right, some mostly sunny skies out there. The weather has been able to cooperate here for those Memorial Day events, but we are tracking a few isolated showers now on the radar. You can see that those extend immediately east of Sioux City, pretty much right along Highway 20 or so. We have some light rain that is falling in the vicinity of Ida Grove. You can see also a cluster of thunderstorms toward Interstate 35, closer to the center of the state of Iowa. High temperatures today were able to rise into the middle and upper 70s. Very comfortable, some pleasant heats. And tonight we'll see temperatures sink into the 40s and 50s. It is going to become hotter, though, as the week goes on, and we are suspecting to see some 90s later on toward the weekend. We'll have much more with the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
Thanks, Scott. Meanwhile, a Nebraska student is missing tonight after taking a trip to Hawaii and not coming home. 23-year-old Samuel Martinez is a senior at UNL, and he's been missing for weeks after taking a trip by himself to the island of Kauai in Hawaii. He was there to hike and camp as a late spring break trip. Now, Martinez landed on the island on May 12th and sent his parents a text message letting them know he arrived there safely. But after that, they did not hear from him again. Police on the island say they will now be focusing on 2 intended campsites Samuel had rented out for his trip. The Martinez family is holding on to hope that their son Samuel will come home safely. And a vigil will be held tonight in honor of a missing Montezuma boy. Xavier Harrelson turned 11 yesterday. He was last seen on his bike last Thursday morning on the north end of Montezuma. Yesterday, hundreds of volunteers searched for Xavier. That included a dive team, but so far there is no sign of the boy. A vigil will be held at the Poweshiek County Courthouse. Organizers do hope to rally the community to keep searching for Xavier and also to support his family. And this Memorial Day, we are proud to honor Siouxland veterans, both past and present. How Nebraska vet is taking the motto, "Here to serve," to heart, coming up in about 10 minutes.
And some more pleasant weather and bright sunny skies are expected through much of the 9-on-9 forecast as we gradually heat things up into the 90s this weekend. We'll let you know if there's any rain chances to be concerned with. That's all in the forecast up next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Thanks for sticking with us. If you're inside now watching, we hope you enjoyed some of the beautiful weather today. Of course, Scott, when the weather is not so great, you get blamed. Today, I'm sure people are very happy, and you can see, although we have sun, some clouds, but more fair weather clouds filtering in.
Yeah, a few clouds out there, but it doesn't look like a whole lot of precipitation, so we can be thankful for that, Sophie, as we look outside here on the North Star Community Credit Union camera. This is stationed up in Cherokee, and you can see that we have some mostly sunny skies at this time. We are tracking a couple of isolated showers, but it looks like those won't be much of a nuisance on this Memorial Day. Checking the almanac, you can see that we've had some pretty seasonal conditions today, though it was on the chillier side of average this morning as we descended to a low temperature of 44. There were also some pockets of dense fog that occurred earlier on today. The high temperature this afternoon in Sioux City rising up comfortably to 77 degrees. That's just about in line with average. Looking at temperatures now, we have some more cloud cover and showers that are happening to our south. That's responsible for those cooler readings that you see down toward Missouri and Kansas, where it is 63 in Concordia, with highs right around 90 degrees, but at least we'll have the benefit of a breeze both Saturday and Sunday to keep the air stirred up and moving around. As we get into next week, it looks like we'll cool things off just a hair. 86 on Monday, 85 Tuesday, with the presence of some more clouds before we make it back into the upper 80s next Wednesday. Well, in the spirit of the day, Mike in Holstein, Iowa, snapped this picture. You can see all of the flags lining the road there. Thank you very much for snapping that picture out of Holstein. Thanks, Mike. If you have one that you want to share from today's festivities or any other weather photos, just go to our website, SiouxlandProud.com, find the weather tab, and send us your pictures.
Yes, and it was a perfect day to take those kind of pictures, so looking forward to that.
It really was. Bright, sunny skies, so it really illuminates the flag quite well.
It does. Can't ask for more. Thanks a lot, Scott. And most people know today, of course, is Memorial Day. It's also the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre, what led to one of the nation's bloodiest days, coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, for the first female Veterans Service officer, her job helping injured vets is more than a job. It's personal. We share her story coming up next.
Only KCAU 9 gives you 5 dedicated digital journalists and producers to get you more news to keep you informed, more weather to keep you aware, more stories to keep you entertained, more for you on the app and at Siouxland Proud.
10 years ago, the Missouri River brought severe flooding to Siouxland.
And on June 1st, KCAU 9 looks back at the changes that it led to.
The flood of 2011, a decade of change. June 1st at 6:30 on KCAU 9. This is KCAU 9 News.
For one Decatur, Nebraska veteran, the saying, "here to serve," is one she takes seriously. That's true now, even years after her time in the military. KCAU 9's Hannah Adamson introduces us to a veteran who's giving back to others who also gave to their country, and our encore presentation of this week's Veterans Voices.
For the first woman Veterans Service officer in Burt County, "here to serve" is a motto to live by.
When I get a favorable adjudication, You can't tell me nothing. I am sitting on the world.
For the past 8.5 years, Penny Warren has helped hundreds of veterans injured in combat.
They bring me the medical evidence, and then I put in for a service-connected disability.
Warren says serving those who served us is personal. She, too, is a veteran. She served as an Air Force security officer during the Gulf War.
We had to rucksack our 20-mile march to get out of Air Base Ground Defense.
Warren says her experience helps her form deep connections with those she serves.
We compare the stories.
One encounter with a Vietnam War veteran and his wife is one Warren says she will never forget.
He was telling me about going on patrol and they were out in the bush and so on and so forth. And his wife looked at him, she says, "You've never told me this." And he says, "That's because you didn't wear the same boots as I did. You didn't wear the uniform. She did."
Warren says that connection could make all the difference when it comes to receiving compensation.
I get them talking, and maybe they don't think they're eligible. And then I'm like, well, this happened in the service, and you're still suffering with the injury. Ultimately, that's my goal, to help eligible veterans.
For Veterans Voices, Hannah Adamson, KCAU 9 News.
And here at KCAU 9 News, we're proud to tell the stories of our Siouxland veterans, and nominations are always open. So if you know a veteran with a story to tell, we'd like for you to email us there at the address on your screen, veteransvoices@kcautv.com. Well, 100 years ago today, hundreds of black people were killed in what's known now as the Tulsa Race Massacre. The history of that event and the Black Wall Street next. While many people know today is Memorial Day, it is also the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. And Donna Terrell shows us what happened to Black Wall Street.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, a city diverse in its people and culture, fueled by a complicated past, some of which involves the historic Greenwood District, better known as Black Wall Street, a community of prominence and wealth for black people in the early 1900s.
You could go down to the Greenwood Avenue, which is really the hub of what was called Black Wall Street, and find restaurants and grocery stores and movie theaters and taxi cabs and haberdasheries and furriers, but also doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, dentists.
Many of the people who came to Indian Territory, Tulsa, the Greenwood, what we know as also Black Wall Street, had received their educations back, particularly in the East, at Morehouse and Spelman and Howard University. So they were professional people with professional skills.
Black Wall Street's founding father, Ottawa Gurley from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, arrived in Tulsa in 1906.
He came here already having wealth.
He opened a grocery store and bought and sold land to other black people. Businessman Simon Berry ran a taxi and bus service and owned a chartered plane company catering to rich oil men.
It was said that each dollar changed hands 19 times before it left the community.
Black people living the American dream, but a volatile situation loomed.
This was a really dark time. This is a period during which events that were called race riots were happening all throughout the United States.
Greenwood, a fertile field for tension between blacks and whites.
If one embraces this notion of white supremacy, and one can look across the railroad tracks and see a very successful black community with people owning homes, driving cars, wearing nice clothes. If you're a white person and you're not doing well economically, then something is amiss. The ship has to be essentially righted.
The trigger, an encounter in the Drexel Building elevator in downtown Tulsa between teenagers Dick Rowland, a black shoe shine boy, and Sarah Page, a white elevator operator.
Something happened that we don't know exactly what.
Page said she was assaulted, though she later recanted, but a local newspaper embellished the story, adding fuel to the fire. Out of fear Rowland would be lynched, armed black men came to the jail to protect him. They were met by a larger group of armed white men. Then, a gunshot.
And as one of the massacre survivors says, all hell broke loose after that.
An angry white mob set Greenwood on fire. The entire community burned, totaling 35 city blocks. The popular Dreamland Theater gone. More than 1,200 homes, 600 businesses, and the famed Wall Street left in ruins, as were a number of churches.
And all this happened in only 18 hours.
Reverend Robert Turner pastors historic Vernon AME Church, where only the basement survived the massacre.
It was the first time airplanes were used to terrorize Americans. Not 9/11, not Pearl Harbor, but right here in Greenwood, in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
It's estimated between 100 and 300 people, mostly blacks, were killed and many others wounded. Some of the survivors, including Gurley, left and never returned.
After the massacre, the people who stayed here rebuilt Greenwood. In fact, in the 1940s, it thrived with well over 200 documented black businesses. Ironically, it was integration that led to the demise.
When integration comes along and black people are able to spend outside the community, they're able to access more goods and services at better price points, it undermines the financial foundation of the community.
But the community's rich history teaches us many lessons, including the power of the human spirit and the notion that some history bears not repeating.
I typically would paraphrase something that Dr. Maya Angelou said that I think is both simple and profound. She said, "Our history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived. But if faced with courage, it need not be lived again."
And need not be forgotten. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, Donna Terrell reporting.
For almost 95 years, that event was referred to as the Tulsa Race Riot. That name had a purpose. You see, if what happened on Black Wall Street could be referred to as a riot, the insurance companies at the time would not have to pay to rebuild the businesses that had been destroyed. It was only within the past few years that a concerted effort was made to rename that event to more accurately reflect what took place in Tulsa. That's why it's no longer referred to as a riot, but instead as a massacre. A little history lesson there. Well, taking a live look outside now, Scott returns with one more check on your forecast. Stay with us. Finally tonight, an Alaskan bride-to-be says she's thankful for a U.S. postal worker going above and beyond to save her big day. You'll find out why. Crystal Lewis and her fiancé mailed out their wedding invites earlier this month, and they began to wonder why they weren't receiving any RSVPs. Turns out the envelopes needed some extra postage because of a wax seal. So when a local postal worker noticed the pile of envelopes had not been sent, he decided to buy the extra postage. How nice. And worked with his coworkers to mail those invitations that night. See, that is just a selfless act, really. I'm sure she's very appreciative.
Yeah, I wouldn't have suspected that seal would, push it over the threshold for the weight, but nice for the postal worker.
Now, we learned wax is heavy, and we are learning that we are going to have still a good night.
Yeah, a really nice night out, Sophie. A low temperature of 49 and a mostly clear sky. Tomorrow, 79, nice and sunny weather. It looks like it will cook up, though, by the end of the week. Highs expected to surge into the 90s.
Can't complain about that. Thanks a lot, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again at 6. Until then, good night.
Whether the weather is gorgeous or frightful, sometimes it comes together just right.